Hello, everybody. Sorry I can't be there in person. I was planning to be, but you know how it is. This COVID seems to mess a lot of plans up. So I'm a close contact with a few members of my family. Whoops, are we still going? Okay. So I hope you're all well, and may God bless you. Here on the WhatsApp that some may not be so well and have family that are not well, and thinking of them also. If you hadn't heard through the grapevine, we had a special event in our family recently. Thursday on the 5th of the 5th, my oldest daughter Anastasia was married to Alexander, and then down in Albany. So that was a special occasion, and yeah, very nice it was too. And yeah, I just want to thank all the techno guys, David and the crew. I'm not sure who else is there, Lewis and maybe Barry, for organising the Zoom, that I can sort of be there with you, even though I can't be physically in the same place. Hope it works fine. Well, so it's good to be with you. I'm going to try and share my screen now and find where we are. Here we go. This is, can you all see that okay? Yep. All right. Let me put it onto this mode, and hopefully that will look all right on your screen. Okay, so we're here via Zoom today. So welcome to anybody out there and watching it from home as well, or going to watch it later on. And yeah, good to be with you. Heart attack, I think. 1 in 4 people will die of a heart attack. And heart attacks in Australia are quite dangerous, as you can see. Every about 30 minutes, they say somebody will have a heart attack. Cancer, of course, 1 in 3 women and 1 in 2 men have issues with cancer in some ways, and most of us have. I would imagine, know people have had cancers. I know of people currently, and people close to me have had that, and a number of my relatives have died from cancers. There's, of course, a whole range of different cancers, as you can see, hopefully on the screen. And of course, we have this little nasty, which has caused the pandemic throughout the world, of course, the coronavirus. And while some people, it may not affect too badly, thankfully, myself and my family have been in that category. It's been just like a bad flu, but other people, of course, it causes untold misery. And unfortunately, as we know from the statistics, many people don't survive it. So yeah, so this brings me to a question. Can you fill in the missing words? Something is something that many people don't appreciate until they lose it. Any idea what that could be? Yes, I heard it there. So health is something that many people don't appreciate until they lose it. And unfortunately, there are things that happen to us in life, some of which we can control, others that we can't. I'm not sure if you're aware, but this week, starting this week, is Health Week. And thus I thought it would be appropriate to talk about health. It's something that interests me, and it's a bit ironic because a little while back I was asked to do a subject through Mamaratha College. It's our Aboriginal school in the hills of Perth, and they asked me to do on holistic health. And ironically enough, I had the COVID, the coronavirus, and I was in isolation when that was happening, and so I had to Zoom in to do their classes. which was not too bad. And yeah, and I thankfully was able to get in there for the last 2 days once I was out of isolation. So this is a little bit reminiscent of that in some ways. So I've entitled it today, Here is to Your Health. And as you can see, I put the bracket there, to our health. And the subtitle is A New Start to Good Health. And the first question I ask, well, why should I actually care about our health? What's the big deal there? Why, can't we just eat and drink and be merry because tomorrow we'll surely diet or something? Well, there are many leading health causes of death, leading causes of death such as heart disease, cancers, as we mentioned, those two, strokes, lung disease, diabetes. And if we look here, there are some risk factors that are associated with our health. And of course, if we lose our health, we lose much, don't we? And those who take their health for granted and later lose their health often have many regrets that they have lost their health if they end up in hospital or other things like that. So what are some of the risk factors? So there are inherited factors. There's some things that we are born with. I know of a young lass who was born and she's had brain tumors, and we've been lots of praying for her. And other people are born with diseases and sometimes just hereditary complaints, which we can do not a great deal about, except for maybe managing it, or sometimes with technology and advancements in medical advancements, we're able to help with some of those. But then other risks, some that we have a little bit of control over, and in fact a lot of it is lifestyle diseases and lifestyle things that we can actually do something about, reducing our risk factors, such as high fat, high sugar, high salt diets. These are often the tasty foods, which is unfortunately that many people sort of love the taste of those in the mouth, but are not necessarily going to be really good for your health. High blood pressure, smoking, of course, obesity, stress, where it becomes more than stress, strain, physical inactivity, couch potato stuff, refined diets lacking in fiber and nutrients. Alcohol, of course, can have a big factor on our thing. And I found this one. I certainly don't believe in evolution, but maybe this is somewhat how people have gone, and especially in America and probably in Australia and other places, many people have become like that last fella there. I found this one is interesting. Single bypass burger, double bypass burger, triple bypass burger, quadruple bypass burger. And if you're just living on these sort of foods, flatliner fries, and that is certainly not going to improve your health. In fact, it's probably going to have the opposite effect and cause you some health issues. That's all bonus foods. Of course, we know that these little devices here, little bad habit forming substances such as cigarettes, have a lot of poisons in, different research up to 400 or more different toxins and poisons in them, and there's just a few to name. So health is not just a matter of chance. We as humans have a part in it, and we need to, of course, care for our bodies and not just rely on tablets to get us through. Of course, the Bible talks quite a bit on health, and we'll spend a little bit of time now just looking at some of the texts that talk about health. In John 3, 3 John 2 rather, John says, "Beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be" what? In health. So John, the disciple, wished us to be in good health. And Paul in Corinthians says, or do you not know that your body is the temple of what? The temple of the Holy Spirit, the temple of God, who is in you, whom you have from God, and you are not of your own. Why are we not of our own? For we were bought with a price. Therefore, glorify God in your body and in your spirit, which are God's. So we're to glorify God in our bodies. We look after our bodies. It gives the metaphor of a temple. And I imagine if, you're there in a nice place of worship there, and if somebody came in and they started chucking rubbish all around the church, garbage and stuff, I think there would be a bit to say, wouldn't there? And people would get very upset with that. But many people put basically garbage into their bodies and don't look after them. And we're being brought with a price. What's that price? Well, the price was, of course, Jesus's death on the cross, his great sacrifice for him. His body, his health, as it were, was impacted by our sin. And he paid the ultimate price for our sin when he died. And his health really is in our hands spiritually and in many other ways, in the physical, the mental, emotional, social areas of our lives. And only through Christ that we can have hope for the day and hope for tomorrow, and gives us a reason why we want to look after our health, because we realize that our bodies are not just our own. They belong to the Holy Spirit, that we are vessels for the Holy Spirit to dwell in, as it were. He can use us for his glory, that we can talk with others and reach out to others, and that we need to look after our health and be an example there as well. So we can praise Jesus that he bought us with a price. John 10:10, one of my favorite passages. The bit before this talks about the thief coming to steal, to kill and destroy. The thief, of course, is the devil and his cohort who want to take us down. They want to destroy our health, destroy our life, just totally destroy us. But Jesus came, he said, I come that they may have life and have it more abundantly. Life more abundantly, life to the full, life to the max, the best life possible. And if you're unhealthy and unwell, then that really has an impact. I know when you're sick, say with the COVID virus, it can really impact on not only your physical health, your mental, your emotional health, your social health. You have to isolate and that, and then sometimes also on your spiritual health. We are whole creatures. We can't separate those entities. What affects in one area of our life can affect in others as well. And when I was talking about holistic health with the students at Mum Maratha, certainly we're emphasizing those points. 1 Corinthians 10:31 tells us, so whether you eat or drink or whatever you do it all for the glory of God. And so that's a good thing to remember. We can not going to go radical and just eat lettuce leaves and carrots all the time, but we need to have a good balance and be mindful of what we're eating and drinking, etc. All right. It's our lifestyles here. It's our lifestyle that's killing us. 90% of deaths in Australia are from ignoring the basic laws of health. What's your response to that? 90%. That's a fair whack, isn't it? And I found this here. I thought this was interesting. Both got extended stomachs, but for very different reasons. And I'm suspecting that fruit is still there because this guy is not really a fan of fruit. Yes. So the 8 laws of health. Have you heard of the 8 laws of health? I'd imagine many of you have. I believe you've done some health programs at Joondalup before, but the 8 laws of health. And here are some of them. And of course, we put these into a a way that we can remember. Of course, we have the CHIP program. I don't know if any of you have seen or heard of the CHIP program. That's not fish and chips. Nothing to do with that. Of course, it stands for the Complete Health Improvement Program. I'm not sure if any of you have done that one before. We had it in Meriden, and over in New Zealand, I became a facilitator. Very good program set up by Dr. Hans Deal, and now with Dr. Morton, Darren Morton, and another doctor. Very good program, but it's based on these laws of health as well. So have any of you heard of the New Start? Hands up, I can see some of you. Who's heard of New Start? Oh, good. Okay, well, I'm going to get you to help me out here. What's N stand for? Whoops. Yeah, of course, it's nutrition. It's a bit hard hearing you, but yeah, nutrition. What's the next one? You can demonstrate it if anybody wants to do it. No, jokes. Exercise, water, yes, sunshine. That's it. Yeah, all yell it out together. What's the next one? Temperance. That's right. Next one. Yeah, that's right. And rest. And finally, one of the important ones, our spiritual health, of course, trust in God. And so there it is, a New Start. And I imagine most of you might have heard of it. If not, if this is new, this is good. Otherwise, this is a revision. New Start is very important. And every day, you know, we can have a new start. If you reflect on the day before and you think, oh boy, I sort of overdid it with all of the cakes and the bickies and the chocolate and all of the maybe unhealthy stuff, then you can have a new start. If you think, oh, I was a bit of a couch potato today and I didn't do much exercise, we have a new start. Or you get to the end of the day and think, oh, a bit thirsty, etc. So yeah, so the 8 laws of health, there they are again with some pictures. And let's look at these very briefly. So the first one, of course, was nutrition. So that's to do with what we eat. And of course, you got the pyramids that gives us an indication of the bottom there, more food. And, you know, as we go up the pyramid, lesser stuff, you know, the fats and salt. But plant-based diet, as the Dr. Hans Deal in the CHIP program says, plants as grown, food as grown. So plant-based foods, and it's good now that even the governments are on board. 5 and 2, what's that remind you of? 5-2, 5 veg, 2 fruit a day. My daughter does gymnastics, and the sponsors are whoever does the 5 and 2. They're big posters all around the wall, and I think, wow, that's a really good thing when they were doing the gym comp, to remind them to 5 veg and 2 fruit. There's some other ones here, as you can see. So here's some good healthy stuff. And of course, the fruit and veg we eat have lots of vitamins and minerals and all of the good stuff. Here's a one in Genesis, going back to the start. The original diet, of course, was a plant-based diet. It says, God says, I give you every seed-bearing plant on the face of the whole earth, and every tree that has fruit with seed in it, they'll be your food. And so that was the original diet. So the original diet from one of our early pioneers who wrote many books, and we look up to Ellen White. She says, grains, fruits, nuts, and vegetables constituted the diet chosen by our Creator. These foods, prepared in a simple and natural manner as possible, are the most healthful and nourishing. They impact a strength and power that endures, and a vigor of intellect that may not afford by a more complex and stimulating diet. So that's some good advice way back in 1905, well ahead of her time. So exercise, how many get enough exercise, do you think? I'd like to say I do, but probably don't get it as much now as I used to. I've put my name down to go on an expedition, so I probably need to get exercising a bit more in the next couple of weeks. I found that. So what fits your busy schedule better, exercising 1 hour a day or being dead for 24 hours a day? So it's just a reminder, isn't it? So there's lots of good exercises. And there's some real benefits of exercising, controlling our weight, lifespan, oxygenating the body, muscles, warding off viruses. That's good. I'll just pick out a few. It even affects our moods, mobility, bone strength. There's lots of things, even reduces a cancer risk. So there's lots of good benefits, and that's just 20 of them. And of course, you can do exercises at home. You don't have to go to the gym. You can just do a few exercises at home. And the good thing is there's incidental exercise as well. If you walk, I know when I was at college studying, I used to park my car and sprint to classes, and everybody say, you're late. Well, often it might have been, but it was also, I said, well, I've got to get exercise when I don't get it. And so take exercise when you get it. If you, instead of taking the lift somewhere, you might take the stairs or whatever. So this is a physical activity pyramid, stuff that we can do every day, sort of incidental stuff, walking and stuff, a bit more thought through and so forth. I don't have time to expand that. Food is the most abused anxiety drug. Exercise is the most underutilized antidepressant. So it's good for that. So we're moving on now to water. Hot or cold, it can be very refreshing. What do we know about water? Well, our bodies are made up about 70% of water, and different organs require different rates of water, but we won't confuse it. We'll just average it. Our bodies use about 20 glasses of water a day, they estimate. We get some of that back through our food and metabolism, thankfully. Otherwise, we'd be drying out. But they say we're 6 to 8 glasses of water per day. And of course, that will depend on the environment, maybe even the body size, etc. But that's what they recommend. And you've probably heard of that before. 8 glasses of water a day will increase your metabolism, fill you up, whether it's hot or cold, aid in weight loss, flush out toxins, get you healthier skin, reduce certain cancers, help digestion, and avoid being blocked up. Sorry. And relieve fatigue, improve overall health. So and no calories. So that's good news. So there's some other benefits of drinking water at certain times. 2 glasses of water in the morning gets your organs going. 1 before a meal can help with digestion. 1 before a shower can prevent blood pressure, and also 1 at night to help prevent stroke and heart attack. Of course, the side effect is you have to maybe hop up during the night. Don't know if you've seen this. Are we drinking enough water? It's a bit blurry. I've got a better one here. Am I hydrated? When we're in Mount Isa, we went to Lawn Hill National Park. On the back of the toilet doors, they had a sign similar to this. Of course, over there, it's very warm, a bit like the Pilbara. And of course, we have, I call it a weeometer of telling us if we're hydrated enough. It's getting cloudier, darker, then you need to drink more water. If it's clearer, it's good. Anyhow, won't elaborate on that too much. You get the picture, I'd say. Of course, there's water we need on the outside as well. Very reluctant customer there for a bath, but that one, he's obviously enjoying that. And so now we move to the next one, sunshine. A little ray of sunshine. It's good. I don't know what it's like down in Perth today, but there's a bit of cloud here, but a bit of sunshine coming through as well. Currently on our property at Meriden. What does sunshine do for us? So sunshine stimulates a production of serotonin, which produces good mental outlook and fights seasonal affected disorder. That last one there, we experienced that when we're in Dunedin. Yeah, it doesn't. The sun is not as good, especially in the winter, and I think many people, yeah, can suffer from that. And I guess in places, I imagine down in the Antarctic, it would be pretty tough in the winter time, and yeah, that can have effects on there. And low, what we'll talk about in a minute, vitamin D. It stimulates the pituitary gland, which produces melatonin. Melatonin is one of the chemicals that operates our body clocks to help us with sleep. And so, yeah, we need that sunshine. 90% of our vitamin D comes from the exposure of the sun. And as I said before, vitamin D is pretty important. I'll just quickly go through this. And we found in Dunedin, my wife was lacking vitamin D. She got quite depressed. And I think there was a few people must have lacked vitamin D over there. And I think my wife had to get like a vitamin D supplements and injection to help her through the winter months. So vitamin D helps lowers cholesterol levels, give you, help to fight against heart disease, strong bones, helps reduce some cancers, helps the immune system, and helps with the aging process. That's pretty good, isn't it? And yeah, so that's a bit about vitamin D. Of course, you've got to get the right amount, don't we? We don't want to overdo it, otherwise you can get sunburn, which is not good. And of course, people suffer from melanomas. I've had friends die of that. So it's getting that right balance, and a lot of health is getting that right balance, not going to extremes. And that sort of ties in, segues nicely into our next one, which is temperance. Temperance, abstaining from entirely from that which is harmful and using wisely which is good. And so temperance, avoiding the harmful stuff. So what does Paul say in 2 Corinthians 7:1? So just in case you're falling asleep, let's look this one up. This is one that we can all look up together. So hopefully you're turning your pages. 2 Corinthians 7 verse 1. A lot of the slides on the screen today, but we will look this one up. And let me just get my glasses. Hopefully that will give you time to look it up as well. It says here, 2 Corinthians, therefore, having these promises, beloved, let us cleanse ourselves from all filthiness of the flesh and spirit, perfecting holiness in the fear of God. And so getting rid of all the filth or pollutants, etc. And of course, we know there are many things that are there. What are some of the harmful substances in our society? Yeah, I heard somebody say tobacco. They believe tobacco kills. I can't remember what year this was related to, but this might be average. And the cost there, that's per year, 12 billion per year. I've seen others that actually put it a lot higher than that. One, when I was doing some research, had it up to 338. I think I may have a slide of that. So it could be more of this, of course, with hospitals and the price of living going up, alcohol, illicit drugs, sniffing different substances. So big costs involved in harmful substances, not only to the person. Here's the one I mentioned, some of the costs of just smoking, and of course we can multiply this out to other things. So the best thing is to be able to kick those bad habits, and we won't dwell too much more on that. We'll move on because time is also doing so. Fresh air, we would die in a few minutes without it, of course. And so we all literally need the air we breathe. But it's good to breathe deeply. And most of us probably don't breathe deep enough. So maybe we should all do a bit more deep breathing even now. So let's all breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Yeah, that's actually quite relaxing too, isn't it? So breathing can actually be a good stress relief if you do some deep breathing. We need to oxygenate our bodies and our brains, and many other benefits here of breathing good fresh air. Sometimes you need just a little bit of fresh air. Okay, well, that one's a quick one. Rest is best. Okay, so we're getting nearer the end. So Matthew 11:28. So this is talking about rest. Come unto me, all who are tired and heavy burden, and I will give you rest. And I think Jesus here was talking about not only our physical rest, but our mental, emotional, social, spiritual rest, and any other areas that are causing us stress. He wants to give us that rest. So even Jesus needed rest, and we have some examples of that. Jesus was in a boat, and he was so tired he slept through a storm, and of course we know he got up and calmed the storm. Many of us do not get enough sleep. I don't know about you, but this is one of the challenge areas. I have getting enough sleep, and yeah, so hopefully we can get enough good sleep. We need it for our physical, mental, and social rest, as I say. So it's a whole package. And if you don't get enough rest, it can affect the other areas of our life. God gave us a special day to rest called the Sabbath, and we're able to do that today. And it's not just a physical rest, but emotional, spiritual, especially, and mental, and yeah, and hopefully we get some good spiritual and social stimulation. So that's a bit on rest, and yeah, thankfully we have good rest. Okay, we're up to the last one. So trust in God. And of course, this is often the missing component when I guess different people look at health. Often they forget about the spiritual dimension, but it is very important. And different studies have shown that those who have a faith in God often do much better in their health outcomes. And if you know that people are praying for you, that's got to have a positive effect on your health, especially your mental health, but also your physical health as well. So trusting in God. So what did Solomon say in Proverbs 3, 5, and 6? Who can tell me what Proverbs 3, 5, and 6? I got it on the screen, but I'm not sure if anybody. It talks about trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. All your ways acknowledge him, and he will what? He will direct your paths. Here it is. I've already blown it. I was going to let you fill in the missing words, but trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. All your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. For time's sake, I've just quoted that. There is a God-shaped hole in all of us. You heard that before? Might be a bit cliche now, but yeah, I think there's a truth in that all of us have this need for God. And if we don't recognize that need, we try and pop any other thing, lots of other things into that instead. Hopefully, I see that it glitches every so often, so hopefully you're getting the message anyway. Another alternative to trusting God is time with God, and really this is an important component as well, and it's actually the way we probably build our trust with God is spending time with God. And so that's another alternative one to do. Well, actually they go hand in hand, really, don't they? Time with God can build trust in God, and this also has a positive effect on our health. So we're basically at the end now. We've just got the summary, so a bit hard to hear you, but I'm sure you'll be able to tell me what they are as we go through. Maybe just call them out. So N is for nutrition, E is for exercise, W for water, S for sunshine, T for temperance, A for air, R for rest, and finally T for trusting God, or what was the alternative one? Time with God. And there they are again, in case you missed them. Hopefully you're there. So, little challenge here. Will you aim to take better care of your health? maybe raise your hands if you'd like to do this. Anybody want to take better care of their health? I can see some hands. That's excellent. Thank you, David, for, I meant to say amen, but I think the hand raise, I can see that. Thank you for setting up so I can see some of the people. Will you make a new start today? So there's those different areas. If you remember New Start, these are areas that you can make improvements. And as they say in the CHIP program, it is going from the worst case scenario, the worst diet, the worst, not getting any exercise, not getting any exercise or anything, to the best case over the other side. And so hopefully we're moving from the worst to the best case scenario. So wherever we are on that continuum, that you continue to improve. And this is a challenge to probably all of us. And I know I'm challenging myself as well. So the other question is, will you trust God and follow his instructions on health? There's plenty of good information out there from the Bible and other sources. Will you encourage others to make a new start and live a healthy, and I've got in brackets there, an SDA lifestyle? As a church, we have, this is one area that we are fairly strong in. And of course, we have the Sanitarium Health Food Company and many other health resources. And our early pioneers were certainly big time in the health, not just Ellen White, but Joseph Bates and many others who were really well ahead of their time. So I wish you all good health and God's blessings, and may God protect and watch over each one of us. And I look forward to meeting up with you again in person next time. And may God bless you and keep you. And I believe that is, whoops, all I have there. So let me just come out of stop sharing and I'll say my final goodbyes. Thank you all. I hope it worked okay and there weren't too many glitches. And may God bless you all. And I'll hand it back over to whoever's going to lead out on our last song, and I'll do a prayer at the end. Okay, thank you. God bless.